Hello, welcome. It's Mike Gilcreast on the Mike Gilcreast Show. Welcome. You're live and in person. I'm here in a newly location for the podcast. This week only, we're up at Fort Walton Beach, Florida. I'm doing a book signing up here. I mentioned it last time, and I'm almost out of paperback. I have like 3 left, and but things are going really well. Things are moving left and right. The excitement I get from people. I mean, I have stories after stories after stories to tell you all, but I'm glad to be here. I'm just so excited to, just be before your presence and as we go forth. But yes, we're doing great things and more great things to come. All right, so get ready. So and be prepared. You never know. You might want to ask the question. There's a link out there if you want and to come on live. It's the first link in the chat, and if you want, just click that link and you can come on live, ask your question. If not, just ask your question, and we could go from there. All right. And so I want to be involved. I want you to be involved. This is your life, and we talk about giving you the version that's not not fiction. So my answers, my truth, the things I talk about is all nonfiction, and and that's why I want to be. It should be. Truism in the equation when you're looking for answers, you're looking to get things done, you're looking to do things right, and if not just to do it right, but to do it better. And I know most people want to do it better. They want to do it better in their lives, their relationships, and so they could go forward. All right, it's a great thing, great place to be in, and we get that going. All right. So appreciate you all. Happy, I think it's Friday already. It seemed like I just said happy Friday, TGIF. Time is moving so fast. Our book signings are going like left, right, and they're moving so fast. We're up here. We have one more day left. We're almost out of books. And so that's the exciting thing. Somebody said, that's a good problem to have. It is. Yes, indeed. To be able to, I was just in Robbins Air Force Base, Georgia, Warner Robins, Georgia, 2 weeks ago. The same thing happened. We down to 3 books the day before. There, I sold out of all the paperbacks, and then we had a few copies of the hardback stuff. And now we're here doing this, and I'm like, wow, it's my last book signing before our special trip. My wife and I were going to the DR, Dominican Republic, and have some fun over there and relax. I get to let my hair down. Hey, I'm letting my hair down, but yeah, we take a break, no suits and stuff. So unless I have to take a sports jacket for dinner or something, but other than that, we're relaxed. I'm throwing sandals and shorts on, and I plan to have a good time and over in DR and go from there. But yeah, you gotta have fun, all right? And so wants to live. I hear all the problems and situations people are going through. I'm saying let your hair down and have fun. Do not let life escape you. And then you're like, oh my God, I wish I coulda, I shoulda. No, do it. All right. And so do it for the right things, for the right reasons. And no other things, all right? Don't do what everybody else is doing. Do it because you want to do it, and make sure it's for the right reason. Nothing wrong with that. Doing it right, and and having fun doing that. So we go into a restaurant after this, and so I'm get through the podcast, and so I'm not going to hold you. I'm just going to press on. I don't have shout outs to give you, except we'll give a shout out to my favorite sister-in-law, Linda, and then so we give a shout out to her, and we thank we're thankful for her support. But yes, hey Linda for Mike and Mel, and and all the other people that's looking from afar, because if you don't acknowledge me and chime in chat, I don't know you're there, but I know people watch it because I talk to people. They're like, I watch your podcast, but not everybody have something to say, or they just want to observe and learn and take it in. I appreciate that, and I ran into a guy today, and even before I talk about that, and it's sort of relative to the book and stuff like that. We were and I shouldn't say this, but when we're on vacation, we kind of splurge a little bit. I haven't had Baskin Robbins. I mean, until I got here, maybe I want to say years, and so I don't really take part in stuff like that. But I was craving it, and so they got this pumpkin ice cream. Oh my God. Pumpkin cheesecake or something, but it was delicious, and so I had a little bit of that, and to go for it. But yeah, it was fun. And so while I was there, as I was leaving, I seen, a couple people there and they're saying hi to me because, I'm kind of a little celebrity now. I like to sound popular, but I talked to about four high schoolers, two guys, two girls, and so they were sitting down talking there in high school and stuff and chilling. So I approached them and started talking to them, and they were asking me questions after questions after questions, and I love it when young people ask me questions because I like to see what young people are made of, and so for them to ask me questions and be curious of what I'm doing and even potentially check out the podcast. I didn't get their names, so I want to give a shout out to the high schoolers that I saw last night at Baskin Robbins, and they were outside sitting down, but two guys, two girls, and shout out to you all. Thank you. You guys were awesome people to be around. Appreciate your attitude, appreciate the questions. And they were down to earth, teenagers. They wasn't doing anything unruly. They were just nice. So I had to get a shout out to that. All right. And so we'll see what happens. I think one of the young men, their dad works at the base, and so they potentially be at my book signing. Not today, but maybe tomorrow's last day, and we go from there. All right. So grateful for that, and so. It's been fun. It's been nice, and it's been a joy to be here at Fort Walton Beach, Florida. We're right by Pensacola, and if you haven't heard of Fort Walton Beach, then you probably heard of Pensacola for you. But that's where we are. We're in the midst of that. Destin right here, Sandestin's right here. So we're right here in the midst of all that. And I think we're about 70 miles away from Panama City. So Panama City, Florida. So. We're in a great location. A lot of people, I guess, they're still swimming and stuff like that. And so I'm down here for book signing. So I can't go partake into the pool, the beach, this, that, another. I'm here on a business trip, so I have to handle the business and make that money, right? And then change lives and just share my story with everyone. So that's why I'm here. Don't mind, so next week we have a break. So I said, okay, let's do this. But I am excited, and people love my energy. So I got it. Why I got it? Because I didn't have to be here, but I'm blessed to be here. I thankful I'm here and to share my life with you all. You all sharing your life with me, even when you come on and you're brave enough to ask the question. So I appreciate the questions and able to even glean from that to that I can, let it prosper my life as well. So shout out to you all. God bless you. And so we're gonna move forward. I got my lemon water. I brought this from home, and I'm like, I wanted to, drink water, and I'm doing signings. I barely get a chance to drink water because I'm always talking, and people are coming constantly, and so I'm selling books crazy, and it's it is what it is. I needed that. All right. So check this out. I ran to this guy as we were getting ready to leave, and then I met his mom, and she had got the book and so forth, so on. But the thing is, the guy was going to the store and shopping and stuff, and then I guess while they were in the store, his mom told him about the book and the story, because some people may not be interested at the time buying books and stuff, but when you start talking about it, he came out and the guy was full of life. I was so pleased. I was touched. And shout out to you, hey man. I'm not even going to call his name unless he wants to come online and go from there. But he was a pleasant young man to talk to. And I just love his energy. He was so excited. He was reading the highlights of my book, and he was like, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. And I was excited because I wrote my book and not knowing people's lives would identify to me as such. And the stuff we've been talking about over several podcasts and episodes that we've done, and not knowing my life is going to impact lives, and even to a point where men and women are crying. I'm like, wow, and my story is telling that story, and people are getting, just overwhelmed with joy, that they're, talking to me. And I wrote my life, I wrote my story, I wrote my book, and they're like, wow, my life identified to yours. Do you not know that is the biggest compliment you could give anyone? And they say flattery when somebody imitate you or they like what you're doing, and they overemphasize what you're doing and where you're at in life. I'm like, wow. And so I was so pleased, to meet this young man. So I'm not shouting his name. I know his name, but I'm not shouting it out. So if he wants to come on and so forth, he can do that as well. So we can go from there. But some people like privacy. Some people they want everybody to know what they're doing. That's fine. I understand. I'm kind of the open person, just the opposite. I want you to know, come up, talk to me, shake my hand, let's take a picture or whatever. Some people charge just to take pictures because they reached into the celebrity status. I do it because I love people. I love you guys are interested in what I'm doing, my story. Let's take a picture. I'll shake your hand. Then go from there. But yes, we're doing great things. And my wife is there with me every step of the way and helping a lot through the processes. And oh my God, it's just been phenomenal. The stuff that's happening and how it's happening, the way it's happening. I'm like, wow. And wow is kind of like my favorite word of all time. It's like, wow. I think I used that word when I was writing my book. And then my first word in my book is wow. And so my grandson said, Papa, what's the first word in your book? And I looked it up. I said, wow. And it's been stuck with me. And I say it all the time. And I'm like, it is what it is. So let me wow you as you wow me and go forth. All right. So blessed and pleasures to be here. I just don't believe it's Friday. Friday just jumped right in front of us. And so we got a couple days to get home, get situated, pack and repack, and then we leave Monday, for DR. So that's Sunday we get ready for church. So that's that. I'll show you my church information towards the end. If you're interested, you take a picture and press on. If not, we press on anyway. So it is what it is. I'm not pressing nothing. I'm not pushing nothing. And I want you to be comfortable enough to ask questions, and we can go from there. All right. So last night I had Jamaican food. So we, had to get the food from the yard, So much respect for them, and they just were pleased to have me, and the dinner was awesome. So did that last night, and tonight we haven't eaten yet, so we have figured it out, and so as we go forth. But yes, we're having a good time. And they have a lot of eateries here in Fort Walton Beach. A lot to do here. And so I don't think you'll be bored and tired, but I'm here doing, me doing my thing. All right, so getting back into the topic that we're talking about this episode of is sex better or is sex before, I say sex better, but is sex before marriage important? And people are interested in this topic. And for the truth of it, a lot of people don't know the question. All right? They're not familiar with it. Should I have sex? Should I not have sex before I get married? And people are not sure what they should do because I ran into some of them. And before they get married. And I always encourage, just in case you don't know, and you're not thinking I'm a farce and this and another, I'm crazy, I'm off my cracker, I lost my this, that, and the other. So, well, sex after marriage, doesn't work. If it did, we wouldn't be getting divorces in the number of rates of divorces that we've gotten. And so I was thinking about that on the way to get on the show, and I'm like, I thought about it. I said, sex is very important before marriage, to know what to do, how to do, when to do it. And so I always encourage people to not have or engage in any sexual activities until after the wedding, because I think who loses if you have sex prior to marriage? I think this is just me, my opinion. I think the woman loses. And so I teach women, I say, save yourself until the wedding, not the ring, not the engagement, to the wedding, because you're not married yet. If you go to the application, there's no place on the application that says engage. That's not there. It's not there. And so you want to be able to, own up to where you at, own up to your responsibilities, own up to everything that makes you a whole person. And so if marriages include that, own up to it. Don't hide behind nobody. Don't hide what you say, what you feel, And so is sex before marriage important? Yes, it most certainly is. So when you look at it again, and I've said all these things, it'll open up your mind and say, you know what? I know it's important because this, that, and other, it happened to me. Or this, that, and other didn't work out for me. This, that, and other, I wish it happened. So that's where we are. And so when you ask the question, you look at it and you think of it and say, huh. And that could be an aha, when you have an aha moment, and you're like, aha. And so when it jolts to you, like, oh my God, it is. It's very important that we understand it, not to do it. And when you know that and then understand boundaries and understand everything's required and the repercussions of doing it, can happen to you and change the whole outcome of your happiness. Whereas even to some people, they could be engaged and never get to the altar where you're allowed to have your encounter, right? And so you want to do everything prior to marriage to learn, to understand, to improve yourself before you get married. Don't get married and say, "Oh, I wish," and don't get frustrated and disappointed in marriage because like if we would have had sex prior to, I wouldn't be here. But if you learn how to talk, walk, and you know what you're doing, you're not worried about if could, shoulda, woulda. Yeah, you're like, I got it. I'm working with it. I'm doing it right. End of story. That's what it's all about. You got to know what you want, how you're going to attain where you're trying to go. And a lot of people don't know. A lot of people down here that's been to my book signing, they're either with child and they're buying my books, or they're engaged to be married. I'm like, yes. And then we encourage people, if before you get married, serious, don't tie that knot, don't do this, don't do that, don't do nothing, right? But get the marriage counseling before you get married. We think that's entirely too important to mess up, to pass up, and think you have arrived and you don't need it. No, everybody needs it. All right? So we said that. All right? Give me a quick sip. I missed drinking water a lot today, and now I'm like a little thirsty. So, and then I'm keep going. But getting back to this thing, we got to understand relationships, what they are. All right? Relationships, get this. Relationships are what you make it. Now, that seems so shallow. And it's like, it's what you make it. But what you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. And so I'm not saying put your totally 100%, because I think we live in a time now, you have to put a teaser out there. Truthful, but a teaser, just to see where everything lies. Don't just jump into it and say, oh, what's your name? Where you going? Where you live? Where you going to school? You do the inventory and learn where they are, right? No. Doesn't work like that. It can, but it shouldn't, because we didn't get to know the person, like, dislike, what's the requirements, and this and another. You get in a relationship and they say, I'm not doing that. I'm not going here. I'm not going there. I'm not getting along with this person, that person. And you thought everything was going to be copacetic, and you get married and it's like, oh my God, it's my wife from hell, because everything she promised, everything she said, everything I said is not lining up. And so we have to know that we need to say the same thing regardless of who you are, how you come into contact with that relationship. You got to know more than anybody else. This is it. You have to know what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to accept, what you're willing to let go. You got to know. And if you don't know, then it's too bad on you. Shame on you. Because I tell you, and if you've been following me for any length of time, I've told you time and time again, always work your checklists. As you see things and you in that counter and you're looking to get married, start checking things off. Start writing things off. Start, check it. He has this, he has that. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then you're like, wow, I got it. And so look at your assessment of everything you check and say, does this guy really qualify? Does this woman really qualify? You got to ask yourself that. Do not ask yourself, do they qualify to be with you? Are they good enough to be with you? Because all that stuff that you see in their portfolio and you're looking at, and you research, you're doing the podcast, whatever, is that what you want? Is that what you want? Is that where you're going to stop? And sometimes we make bad choices. I am a witness. I made a bad choice in dating, marrying someone, and it was just bad because I did it on impulse. I did it on physical attraction. Nothing up here mentally. Nothing. I wasn't even using my mental capacities because I thought I had it made. I thought I had the answers. I thought I was the best thing going around, and that doesn't make you have a happy life, right? And so when I learned that, I said, I've been doing this wrong. And so you got to take your time. You got facades and massage and finesse the situation. And then when you do that, you're like, wow, I'm more in control of my life than ever before. I'm more happy now than I've ever been. You got to know what you're seeking, going after. Don't just go after anything. Don't just seek anything. You have to know I'm into this and I have to give it what? 99%. No. You have to give it 1%. No. 99.5 doesn't work. And so you have to give 100%. Even though you test it, I'm saying use wisdom. Test it. I'm talking about the relationship. I'm not talking about anything else. I don't know where your mind is. I'm talking about the relationship, seriously. And you got to test to see, try this, try that. And then try to say, what works? Ask the question. Ask a nonchalant question. Something to, because we don't get to know people. We don't even know to ask them questions. And ask them if they ever had their eyebrows arched, or if they ever, went to a bikini party, or if you ask all kinds of questions so you can get to know the person. I talked about this last time. People are getting together, getting married, getting unhappy, and then realize and say, you know what? I didn't even know her. You're not the woman I thought you were. You're not the man I thought you were. And that's how we find out that's not what we want. You got to make a stance to ask the question that's going to make you happy. Write it. Write it down. You got to write it down. You got to write it down. So know what you want. And I'm like, wow. And it works. It really does. And from a vision standpoint, you write your vision, make it play. And so you want this type of husband. You want this type of boyfriend. You want this type of a friend that you're going to be in relationship with. But you're asking the questions. And you don't know, because nobody knows what type of person they're going to marry. Nobody. I don't care how long you've been married, dating. I've been with women. You see this. I've been with in relationships. I've cheated. I've done this. I've seen all the stuff going on, and I knew I didn't want that. The life I was living, I didn't want it for myself. So I had a double standard. I didn't want to be out there and then somebody get in a relationship with me, and then they're tapping out and other people's bed and this, that, and other. And I'm like, oh my God. So we don't want that to happen. We want to build up and find out what's our minuses. Nobody wants to look at the minuses. They're like, oh, hey, how you doing? They get to know you. I'm using my sexy voice, right? So they get to know you and they're like, wow, this is amazing. You're amazing, da, 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 right? And really, you got to get to know them. But ask questions like, do you enjoy going horseback riding? Do you enjoy? Find out the likes, dislike. Then you can plan your life. A lot of times we do something like, I don't know if she likes horses. I don't know what her favorite color is. I'm trying to put this together, that together. And I don't know what her favorite color is. I'm trying to figure it out. No, that's not how you do it. You don't get into a relationship and figure it out. Some things are going to come, you have to figure it out. But go prepared. And don't stop asking questions, especially if you're marrying somebody. You got to ask the question. If you don't care about them, you want to go out and whatever and have a good time, then so be it. When you don't care about it, it doesn't matter. You don't have to take the time to get to know them. You do your checklist, say, okay, maybe something will change that line. But if it doesn't, you're not losing anything. You're not losing your emotions. You're not tied up into her. You're not losing anything. Just a few minutes to ask the right questions. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with asking questions? You go to DMV, you ask questions. You put license plates in your car, you ask questions. And you go to the post office, you ask questions. You go to school, you go to the grocery store, you still ask questions. So you can't get away from it. So when your life comes into play, ask questions to the person that you may spend your rest of life with. And then you get in there, you're like, oh my God, this is not what I want. This is not what I want to do. You're not the person I thought you were. Then you're going off, but guess what? Back it up. Then you say, you know what? It was my choice. I chose him. Don't listen to your girlfriends. Don't listen to your boyfriend. Don't listen to mom and dad. You got to find that person. For women, you got to wait on it to happen. But for men, you have to find that person to make sure it's what you want. When you find them, ask the questions. You got to ask the questions. And what questions do you ask? People like, what question? What can I ask? Ask what they like outside. What they like outside of marriage. Find out who that person is. And find out if they've been married before. Say, I wonder. I'm thinking about this, and I just want to know, you before I get to know you. Did you have multiple partners when you were married? They go and let you know. Yeah, I have multiple partners. Da 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 da. But if they give you the wrong number, that might be one of your questions. Say, you know what? If they have more than 5 people, I don't want nothing to do with them. Is that all right? And that's how it works. We gotta ask the right questions. I've been on that for the past couple of weeks, and even more particularly last week because I think about this, and I'm at my book signing this week, and I'm looking at people. Some people aren't happy. I'm literally beautiful, not beautiful, whatever, but they literally not happy. They're married, they're not happy. And then some people are going through divorces and they're not happy. And I'm like, wow, wow, wow. So I'm trying to talk to them, get some stories. I don't know. I'm nosy too, but I want to be able to get some story, get me something out of this because I want to know what didn't work. And then some women, on top of all that, they just as bitter as a piece of sour candy. They are busy, 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 you know, and they don't want the life they want. They don't want, everybody want your life because my life looks successful. My life don't look like um, what people imagine. I have a down to earth life. I have a, unimaginable life. And I like to keep it down to earth. 9 chances out of 10, 90% of the time, I don't even wear ties. Um, um, Book signings. I don't do ties. And so every now and then, if you see me doing a tie, that means I have another engagement in the evenings. I try to dress down as much as I can on book signings and go from there because I think this is a pretty dynamic thing that we're doing. And I don't want to trade it. I don't want to mess it up. I want to be able to go forward. I do book signings because I get to touch the people. I get to touch their hearts. I get to touch their lives. And I don't go in there and say, it's my intention to find out all about you. No. People are sharing their lives with me, their stories. I'm giving advice. I'm trying to help people to do better, make better choices. I'm talking to the young people in the military and able to do that. And I might be doing a big thing with the military coming up, all right, for my book and so forth, so on. So I think that's awesome. And I tell the people, I say, if you want me, you got to tell your commanders, talk to the people in the chaplain's office, whatever, and say, we want this guy. Read my book. They're teaching my book in churches. It's changing lives. Somebody gave me thumbs up. Back at you. I appreciate you. And I love this stuff. I want to touch military people. I want to touch church people. I want to touch regular people. I want to touch families. I want to touch broken people, people that's been divorced. And the guy I met today, I call him, I say, you're my twin. He said, your life story is just like mine. I want to touch those people too. I touched the people already that's been through, a horrific type deals like essays and this and that. And then bad marriages and this and that, domestic violence. And so I'm touching everybody. And the thing is, we need it. You know what probably 80% of people tell me? They said, we need what you're doing. We need it. We need it. We need it. And do you not know that makes me feel good? To be able to talk about relationship, for me to tell women, you need to date better. You need to do this. People getting married, people will always get married. I have no doubt, regardless of how many divorces happen out there, people are going to always get married. But before you get married, get prepared. Marriage is not just sex. Come on now. You got to understand it's more than just that. But we got to get prepared so we can be good wives, good husbands. I have men call me and say, my book saved their marriage. And so understand what you're putting out before you even get there. Before you get to the altar, understand what's required. How much are you willing to sacrifice? I ran to a lady and I talked about her, and this is my second time on. I was on Wednesday, and her story still stuck with me. Excuse me. How she's married right now. In this area, and I'm not calling names and stuff. I told you I'm not gonna call names, but the thing is, she's beautiful, young lady, got a kid, but she's not happily married. She's not. She's to the point. She's like, I would not do this again, and so something's wrong. But I think me personally, I've been married before. I've been divorced, and I'm married a second time. Over 30 years of experience. I'm bringing now, and so. But I think. There was a communication lapse. There was a misunderstanding. I can look at they can give me pointers and I can tell them, but I like to let people tell their own story. And they don't want to talk. And if they give me enough, I will talk for them and let them know how they can fix it, all right? I don't believe any relationship, good, bad, and different, cannot be repaired. I don't believe it, all right? And so because I've been there, and I look at what people are looking for. People are unhappy. People want love. Diana Ross sang the song, what the world needs now, and all these celebrities got involved, and they sang they little parts to it, but I love that song. But we need love. Relationships need love. But what we're really saying, if you need love, you gotta need God, because God is love. And people are like, I don't want to talk about God. I'm not here to preach to you, but I'm saying the essence of any love story that we're trying to put together in our lives, you cannot do it without God. What do you mean? Because the Bible I read talks about how God is love. And so if God is love, then you have to be able to bring the godly love into your relationship. How can you say I love God, but I don't want to love my wife, I don't want to love my spouse, I don't want to love this next person? You got to love everybody, but you can't get there if you're like, I'm blocking out this because I've been hurt, I've been destitute for destruction, and even to a point where you may want to take your own life. And the thing is, no person, seriously, is worth your life. I tell people, read my book, read my book, read my book. My book covers a whole variety of topics, but the veracity of it, the energy that's poured into it, you could feel it. I was telling a young man today, right, at the book signing, and I was telling how, people are interested in my book and this, that, and other, and how we're traveling place to place, and some people want me to be potential speakers, and da-da-da. But he told me, he said, you had me at this. He said, I was already sold. He said, if the energy that I give, even with y'all see me now on podcast, he said, that if you give it that same energy, I can't wait to read the book. That's awesome. But you know what? I want people to read the book who think they figured out love, who they think, they're in the best relationship. Some people in relationship, and they think they got it going on. And like, how can you get married and you don't even want to look at marriage counseling? I think that's stupid. It's like getting a driver's license without taking the driving course, right? If you get a driver's license without taking a driver's course, at some point, you're going to have an accident because you're not prepared for it. I don't care how long you've been driving, you have to go and get your driver's license. You have to take the course with someone else. That's life. All right. So please, by all means, right, you have to know, all right, you cannot go into any relationship without the proper counseling. Nobody counsels man and woman when they meet each other. They have this attraction. You don't go get counseling for premarital sex. It's no counseling out there for that. Guess what? People just do it. I got a body. I got female parts. I got male parts, and we're just gonna do it. And you're like, wow. So why do you live your life? This is a question. You could answer it, and I'll go back and answer your question. Why do you live your life vicariously, and you're doing all you want to do, and then you have all this sex stuff, and then you get married and you have nothing to talk about? Then you have nothing to look forward to. Then you have nothing to inspire you to keep being who you are. And then the relationship starts to fall apart. And I think this was happening to this other lady I was talking to earlier this week. And so, because people, you could tell when people are having sex before they get married. You could tell. And people buy my book and I start saying certain things and they get uncomfortable. You see, they start shifting themselves. I'm like, I must have struck a nerve. Because women, I'm telling you, do not have sex before you get married. And I say that in front of their boyfriends, in front of their fiancés, and you start getting these looks like, oh my God, whatever. And the thing is, I'm really trying to help you, because your relationship could be solid, but then it cannot be solid. How many people that was going to the altar because they already had the relationship? They already put themselves out there having sex upside down, backwards, and this, and they get married, have nothing to look forward to. We got married. And then those the people say marriage is nothing but a piece of paper because they did everything. You did it wrong. If you believe in God, you got to know it's wrong, because God is against it. Coming together in marriage and you're not, married. You don't come together unless it's time to be married. And the thing is, it sounds so corny, but you know what? I believe there's hope. Maybe not for you. Maybe you don't want it, but I believe it's hope for everybody. But the number of virgins I am beginning to meet now, and I'm asking something to be on my show, but people don't want to come on my show and talk about how hard it is or how easy it is to stay a virgin. People don't want to talk about that. But the thing is, it's out there. People come to my table, they're telling me they're virgins. They this, they that. And what guys want women that's virgins. They do. And maybe a few don't, but for the most part, why not? Most men want that experience to be the first guy, da 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 da. And so I tell women, I say, you're so valuable. Don't lose that. I'm an employee. I talked to a mother and a couple of her daughters today, and the mother's telling the daughters the same thing I'm telling them. I'm loving it. The dad telling them the same thing. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I was giving the young lady, we were doing this several times because I'm like, I'm so proud of her. Because when people read my book, they know the stuff I'm talking now, I was not living that life. When you read my book, you would know I was not living that life. And the thing is, people are like, why'd you do it? Why were you doing it? Why were you having? I'm the author of the book, right? And they're interviewing me. They're interviewing me. They're like, why were you having sex? I'm like, oh my God, am I on the hot seat? But I told them, I said, I was living a wild, crazy life. I was separated from my wife. And it's like, I just lost it. And I didn't care. And so, but the thing is, I can't do anything if women would close their legs. And being that they don't, even today they won't. And so guys want that, to share that innocent experience with whomever. They want to share that. And they don't want nothing to mess that up. And women, I'm telling you, if you're a virgin, stay a virgin. If you single, you're in a relationship, don't have sex. Make the dude wait. Seriously. If you want a successful relationship with that guy and you want him to respect you, make him wait. Don't give over. Anybody can have sex, but everybody will not be responsible. Everybody will not stand up if they get you pregnant. Everybody will not do that. And so that's important to know who you are. And you got to know your faith and trust in God. Because some people don't even want to trust in God. But even God says in the Bible, it's better to marry than to burn. And the burning is not burn with fire, lighter fluid and matches and matches and charcoal or whatever. The burning is the burning of the flesh where, you start kissing and one thing leads to another and you're like, oh my God, we had sex. I don't know what happened. I was caught up in the moment. But then you're like, I'm pregnant. And then I laugh, right? Who wants to hear that? That's like saying you've been sentenced to 99 years. Nobody wants to hear that. But you don't think about that stuff when you're having sex. You don't think about that stuff. Who says if you have sex, you're going to get her pregnant? Nobody thinks about that. Nobody thinks about wrapping it up and this and that. And the stuff that women do, nobody thinks about that. The stuff that people will sell their souls to be into a relationship, to be in a sexual relationship. For what? What are you gaining? What if he dumps you? What if he gets tired of you? You gain nothing. You lose. You lose all the way around. It's no way in the world you can win. And so always keep yourself, keep your messages quiet. I tell people, don't even share. If for the women that's messed up and went and had sex with guys and they thought they was gonna be with these guys forever, I ask you, how did that work out for you? Did they marry you? And the answers are 90% of time, 90% of the time, they're gonna tell you, nothing happened, but it actually did. But it's really none of your business. And the thing is, I don't want it to be my business. I'm just telling you I lived a life. And if you want a productive relationship, don't have sex. When you have sex with a woman, you actually lose your priority as to what place you are in because he don't know if he's going to pick you or somebody else the next week or the following weekend. So it is what it is. And a lot of people fail because of that. They fail a relationship because they don't want to listen. And I'll tell you, I keep women accountable, even if they watch my podcast. I do book signings in some places. And so I know people that's married, separated or single, and they have a kid, and so I go places. I'm like, let me ask you a question. Did you keep that agreement between me and you? Because women, they tell me, I have a kid and I messed up this and another, and I don't want to continue like this. And so I asked them, I keep them accountable. I said, have you had? Or I say it nice. I say it different ways, but I'm on the show, so I'm trying to be as simple as possible tonight. I'm using great big words so you can figure it out. But I asked her, said, did y'all come together? And she's like, yeah. I was like, she told me, yeah. And the thing, it happened to her. I'm like, oh my God, no, you didn't. What did I tell you? I told you. And so I'm really into women being productive in relationship. I got excited, and I'm not even the one with her. But because she's supposed to be accountable to me to keep herself in purity the way she's supposed to, I've been walked and tried to help her get this, that, and other, get her life together. And so I'm like, I was disappointed because she had sex with somebody, and the dude didn't marry. I say, are y'all getting married? No, not even close. Why in the world? You got a child. You have a child. You want to be married. You want to be in a relationship, and you're having sex carelessly at the whim of the moment. You have an unprotected sex, this, that, another, or protected sex. It doesn't matter. And when women have kids, male or female, you have to look out for the kids. It's your job. It's not your job to say, "Oh, I'm lonely." That's part of the sacrifice you made before you had that first child. So even if, right, you had the first time you was married, then you get out there and then you're gotten divorced, and now you're at other places in life, and you're like, oh my God, what did I do? And now you're like, oh my God, I don't want this, what I have. And so don't have sex. I mean, is sex before marriage important? It is for a lot of dudes. It's important. But the thing is, a dude not going to sell his soul for you to do that. He's not going to try to get you pregnant just for you to not pay child support. You know, and so you got to figure it out. You really got to figure it out. And I talk about it, and I'm like, why people aren't to figure it out? And so make yourself accountable for every time that you think that you want to be in a relationship with somebody. Make yourself accountable, to know that, I do not want to fall and be like everybody else. You don't be like your friends. Your friends, some women compete. Have you ever looked at, I want to show you something just to look at. If you ever watch sisters, just sisters in general, any family sisters, and then watch the age of their kids. Sometimes one sister get pregnant, and within 6 months, the other sister pregnant, and they're having a child at the same time. Women compete. Even sisters compete. All right? Sisters compete. They want to be the best. So if one sister get pregnant, the other one get pregnant. And they say, oh, I can't believe this happened. Women compete. And I've been teaching guys all along. I've been teaching women, and I've been showing women how they compete. Women compete. And so they like to see who had the most guys, who do this, who did that. But don't tell nobody how many guys you've been with. Don't tell nobody, every experience you have. And if you've been zero, don't even tell them you're a virgin. They don't need to know because they're going to be jealous of you. For real. Don't tell them nothing. I hope I'm getting through to you. I hope you're listening. I hope it's working out. I love this topic that I'm talking about. I love it because I'm at my book signing, and I've been here all week. My days go fast. Probably 75, 80% of my conversations at my book signing is this right here. Sex, marriage, sex, marriage, sex, marriage. So I know there's a problem. I know people don't know how to contain themselves. I told you the first week of August, we were in Atlanta, and I did a book signing at the West End, so we did our church book sign there, right? But while I was checking in, the young lady at the desk, she was checking out. I'll tell you a story. I'm just reminding you because we're in a different area, and so we got people even from Fort Walton Beach here on the podcast. You don't see them, but they're there, right? And so. And I was telling her how this lady asked me, she said, I'm in a relationship, and my friends, my girlfriends, and this and that, they're telling me I should have sex with this guy. She asked me because I told her about my bookmark I passed out, and then I told her what I was doing and how I had my way with the women, da-da-da-da. And so she said, I got a question for you. She's trying to check me. I'm like, check me in. All right, we cool. No. But she said, why she was checking me in. So she kept bringing more stuff. And so she said, people are pressuring me to have sex with my boyfriend. Should I have sex? If I wasn't in church, I wouldn't even care. Being in church, I have a conscience. I said, do not have sex before he gets married to you. So That was a hard pill to fill, you know. But people think that's the hardest thing. They think it's the end of the world not to have sex. Yeah, go have sex and see what I'm talking about. I think you're the woman's best value, if possible, to be that virgin before you get married. Don't do nothing with the guy you potentially may marry. Don't do anything. Make him respect you. I show people how my wife was resisting me. I tried to put my arm around her, and she moved my hand, and then I grab her hand and grab her leg, and so you'll see the story in my book without me giving it away. But the thing is, she made me respect her. A lot of guys don't respect these women. Women aren't caring. You're not caring the way you used to. Women back in the day, they used to hold their head up high. People don't know about Jane Kennedy and this and that. Y'all don't know about people that used to walk and do the stuff before you guys. You don't know about people like Madonna, this and another, back in the day kind of thing. People used to have better lives. They used to date better. They wasn't always freaks and this, that, and other. They wasn't doing all the stuff that they do in the bedroom now. Now you got kids trying this, that, and other because they think they have freedom. They think they can do what their parents can do. And that's not true. You can't do what your parents used to do. So some people are living in this misnomer type of life, and they don't know what they sacrifice until you come and get the knowledge. And so sometimes I get this stiff arm, like it's not gonna happen, and then people want to push back, but like push back, do whatever. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. All right? So it comes back around. Sin does not stop. It changes its face. Sin don't stop at all. And so it might go from here to here. It might change its face here and there. But it's going to happen. People's lives going to mess up. And if you don't use sin, let's say the evilness of people, it's always going to be before us, even in relationship. So you got to be careful who you team with. Don't be quick to drop your panties and say, oh, my God, I can't wait. And then you get into it. And I'll tell you what happens. When you don't know what you're doing and you're doing it in the wrong precincts, and then your heart really not into that. And so you're like, how was it? Did you enjoy it? So some people are like, oh, I enjoy sex. Oh my God, no, this is not the right. But did you enjoy it? And so thing is, when you do it right, when you're married, you learn this experience together. That's how it's supposed to be. In marriage, in a covenant, where it's special between two people, not something you're trying, and if he decides to break up or leave you for somebody else or haven't made his mind up, you can lose in the end. You're like, all this for what? And then you get to look at each other like, we almost had it. And so, but that's not what you wanted. Why take the shortcut to what you really want? We don't go through that. We don't talk about that. We don't want to talk about anything. We just want to take shortcuts. Why not take the longer way? Get the counseling, get the wisdom, knowledge. So when you go forward, you know how to handle your finances. You know how to handle, what's commitment, dedication type stuff. You know how to handle it just by getting counsel. Wow, isn't that amazing? All right. So what time is it? It's 48. I know I have several questions up here. And so that's just my talk, my take. I'm not done with this, and so I got more and to bring, but I'm more pleased when people want to do it right for the right reason. Females, you got bodies. You got, God bless you with female reproductive organs. He gave you the outcasts of your body. You have breasts and this and another. People are changing what they look. They're getting BBLs and booty lifts and this and that. Do not add nothing to you. All right? And so the right guy gonna find you. Some women try to get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. It'll happen. You got to have faith. When you have faith, you're not worried about discouragement. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Just know, right? Just know it's going to get better for you. You have to speak it in your heart, your mind. And believe me, I got there on my way. When you read my book, on my way to D.C., I was like, God going to bless me with a wife. God going to bless me with a wife. And I kept saying, I kept believing, kept saying. Even though I was doing this life I had, I was living a double life. And yet I was saying it because I wanted to be settled down. I wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to be in a committed relationship. I didn't want the life I was living. It's tiresome to go from girl to girl, lie to lie, girl to girl, lie to lie, and everything's all mixed up, discombobulated. It's like, you don't want that life. I need organization, all right? And so that works for me. So appreciate everybody. I appreciate that. Let's ask some questions. All right, so I talked about a lot of different things, and now I'm trying to get my mouse working. All right, what happens? Oh, I normally try to put the question up. All right, what happened to the love in this world. I don't know, people killing each other for no reason. People think about themselves. We as people need to think about others too. Yes, but we're selfish. We are selfish. Everybody wants, men are selfish. Sometimes in relationship, it's the man selfish, and we're not even going to cover that. And so you got to look out for both parties. So both parties, I said like this, so both parties get satisfied. People don't bring that to the table. Even women getting frustrated. Do you not know when you take care of yourself, you release endorphins, make you feel better, relax, but you sleep the whole 9 yards. It's really a benefit when you do everything for the right reason. We miss the love because people don't want to love anymore. They won't take what you got. They don't want to wait for it. They don't want want to wait for your love to grow. They don't want to wait for anything. They want everything to happen this day, right now. Everything cannot happen right now. You got to take patience. I'm at 31 years of marriage. Believe me, it was not easy getting here. And I had withdrawals because I was not used to being with one lady. And so I was going through my own struggles, even being married. And I had a great relationship at the same time. I knew how far I could go before, things would turn upside down. But I went that limit. I pressed. But if you want love, you have to be the one to initiate love, showing love. You can't just be the one. And I'm not talking sex. I'm just saying showing love. And I love you. I'm interested in what you're doing. And I want to do this. Encourage other people to help you encourage yourself. And so you take that and run from there, right? But I don't know. Only way that I think the world gets better if people join church. People start believing in God. People start believing in a higher power than themselves. That's when I think relationships get better. But until then, we're in trouble. And so, but the potential lives that we can still have great relationships because they exist. You have to believe. I believe. No doubt in my mind, I believe. I know God can do what he says he's going to do. I trust the Bible. I trust life. I'm living that life. And I know it works. You just have to believe. All right. So we answered that. What else we have? It says, can people overcome feelings of rejection? Whew. You know what? I talk to people like this all the time, even today. And somebody said we needed more love. And I said, we are selfish. People are selfish. People don't want to share this and other. Rejection. Nobody likes to be rejected, and I'll tell you, when I first started dating, I used to get rejected a lot, but it never stopped me. I slowed me down, but it didn't stop me. And so men hate to be rejected, and I can imagine men hate to be rejected, and women hate to be rejected. And yes, you can get over rejection, but you have to want it. You know what I mean? You have to want it. You have to know that words don't hurt you or can't hurt you. I think someone has a book. Can't think of the name of the author, but the name of the book is "You Can't Hurt Me Now." And so that's one. Who wrote that? Huh? David Goggins. So you can't hurt me now. And so you got to build yourself up. I've been rejected. I've been divorced. I had attempted suicide. I've been down in the dumps. I've been depressed, but I didn't let that stuff kill me. I didn't let that stuff overtake me. And so all that stuff's in my book. And so unworthy, chosen, forgiven. And so you got to know through the rejection that one person will not destroy you. And even the Bible says, let's know that yeah, I believe it's Bible, but it says, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. And and you got to know that you're not going to let people destroy you. You're your own person. And in the Bible, I have to teach Bible sometimes when I do this, but the Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so if people want to knock you down, you got to back away from that. And then what you do is encourage yourself. They say you can't, but you say, you know what? God blessed me to do it. I want to do it. And so you can. It's no such thing. People get distraught at you, disgusted with you because you're trying to get ahead and you won't let them knock you down. Do not let people knock you down. Do not lose your self-esteem because people, have a different ideology, a different mindset of who you are and so or what you could become. Don't let people stump your growth. by giving you bad information. If I listen to everybody, your book's no good. Your book's this, your book's that. But I'm like, out of everybody, I sell thousands of books. And I had three people, well, two people tell me, they wasn't feeling the book, right? And the one person said, they wasn't feeling it, but they got into it and they figured it out, this and that. I'm like, it's nothing to figure out. But the two that told me they wasn't feeling it, they're friends of mine. And so I'm like, it is what it is. You take it and run with it and go from there. But do not let people knock you down. Don't let them kill the gift that God's placed in you. Don't let them destroy the love that you have to give. If people don't receive your love anyway. So be true to yourself, all right? Keep your self-esteem, all right? And you might have to encourage yourself. Pat your own self on the back, and you don't need people to confirm you. And so I hope I answered your question. All right. That's not the question I want. I want this question. I think I hit the wrong button. There, let's do this. Excuse me. All right. I was getting this question. It's the same question. What's wrong with this thing? It's not acting right. Let's see. Hold on. Let's get rid of that. I think I'm in the wrong frame. So let's try this one. All right, here we go. People think love is through having sex. Yeah. And they do. They do. Some people equate love. You have sex with them, they get emotionally connected to you, especially women. And then they want to be with you forever. Then they get clingy and this, that, and other. I got it. And so yeah, that's a true statement, but it's not a true fact. All right? So even though people think love is having sex, no. What happens if you lose your sexual organs? What happens if a man's penis get chopped off or whatever, right? I mean, anything can happen. So it's not a true statement. You see what I'm saying? Love is loving somebody, enjoying them and stuff like that, but it's beyond sex. Sex is a part of relationship. When sex makes up the relationship, something's wrong. You either lost that love or yeah, because if you think sex, I gotta have sex. If I don't have sex, I'm not gonna do it. Some guys will leave a girlfriend if they won't have sex with them. Yes, they will. And and then some women will stay absent regardless of how much a guy comes after, and she's gonna stay a virgin. In story. So you got everybody. And then you got some people, I don't care, I guess I'll take a chance. Some people gonna meet you in the middle. And that's just the size of it. You have to know who you are. I tell women, set your standard on what's acceptable, what's not. If people want to keep bugging you for sex, cut them off. If they can't handle and respect you, because that's moving into your respect. Instead, you go into depression and having low self-esteem, you have to say, you know what? I will not let you destroy me. Get upset. You don't love me. If it's about sex, that's not love. Sex does not make the marriage. For real. It does not. All right? I can't say that enough times. Sex does not make the marriage. And so please understand what I'm saying. Hopefully you got it. All right. That's important. What else we have? One second here. I'm trying to get this thing together. Somebody else said, can people overcome feelings of rejection? That's like the other question. Some other question. All right, one second. I think I'm missing something. All right, let's see this one. What happened to Love World? Oh, we did that one. Where are my questions? Why is communication in marriage difficult? We had that one. So I think we round track right here. Can people overcome feelings of rejection? Yeah, that's like the other one. Other question. Because we don't want to talk, we're spoiled, we're selfish. I'm telling you, we are spoiled, we are selfish, and we don't want to, nobody wants to be told they're wrong. Nobody wants to be told you're doing it wrong. And so husbands and wives, nobody, boyfriends and girlfriends, nobody wants to be told wrong. You're wrong. And that's why we can't overcome rejection. But when you get rejected, go to God. Say, Lord, give me strength. Da 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 da. I don't want to feel like I'm teaching Bible study here, so I'm just giving it to you. Go to God. Don't go to your. Sometimes you can't go to your friends because they're not going to understand what you're feeling. And so you go to God and get it worked out, and you can do this. When you're in the right mindset to do what's right, God honors marriages. And so that's automatic. And so you got to know who you are. A lot of people don't know who you are. And so you can overcome anything you want to. Don't let the crime of sin hold you back. Don't let nothing hold you back. The crime of sin, and don't let nothing move in the way to pull you down. Cut that off. I'm cutting it off. I'm not. Don't entertain it. If a husband going off, just change the subject or leave. Go to bed early or whatever, right? And let him. Sometimes if you give things a cooling off period, the person normally figures out it's time to let this go, let that go. They figure it out, but it's going to happen. But do not have your feelings stamped on stuff like that. Just know it's just a feeling, and feelings pass. And so get yourself together. Don't lose yourself because people are speaking to you and treating you harshly. Do not lose yourself. Stay humble. Stay where you are and keep moving forward. You got to stay who you are, and you have to be vigilant. It's only one of you. And so if you allow people to destroy you, now you're not even your own person. You have to trust, what you believe in that, is going to help you to go to that next level. You got to trust. I trust God, and I believe it's going to work out. I don't care what nobody say. All right. What else? All right. In a relationship, what does it mean to be compatible, to be a compatible partner, and how do we know if we are truly compatible? Well, I've been married 31 years, and I don't think sometimes we're not compatible. No way, no how. And but you make fun of it. Sometimes you have to compromise and be there for the other person. And sometimes they have to compromise and be there for you. And that's how you become compatible as well. You can't always line up and say you have a perfect schedule. If you're working 9 to 5 at the bank, and then he needs to talk to you at 4:30, you can't leave your job maybe 1-2 times in a year, but you can't leave your job and go just, oh, my husband want to talk to me. They ain't trying to hear that. So you go see your husband after you get off work. If you can't do that, then I'll see you later. Get your stuff and leave. And so that's how it is. And so you make time for what's important to you. And then you go from there. But if relationship is important, you're going to make time so you can, attest to that relationship and move forward. It is what it is. Don't doubt, the process. It happens. We don't understand sometimes when we do stuff why we do it, but do it anyway. But when you do it, just ask, the person that you're with to stand with you, be patient with you, while you try to figure it out, and go from there. But it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, do what it takes to be compatible. It's easier than said, be done if you're interested and you have the same mindset. It's much easier. And so compatibility is constant in any relationship. I'm older than my wife. We come from 2 different states. We think differently. We sometimes we were mad at each other. And I'll tell you a true story, right? We're mad at each other. And I'm like, it's supposed to be this way. I'm the man, da 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 da. She like, it's supposed to be this way. And so we going back and forth. But the thing is, we come to find out, we were saying the same thing. And I'm trying to take the man road, and she don't mind following me to do what I do. And that's what makes relationship works. That's how you get to the 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30. You learn to work through and make minor adjustments to make your love the way it's supposed to be. And if you don't do that, who else going to do it for you? And so if you get rejected, God's going to bless you. You got to look for God to bless you as well, to give you strength. Don't go out there and do nothing crazy. I think you cheat on me. I'm going to cheat too. And then you want to get married, maybe not to that guy because he cheated, but you want to get married. You can't go give your body away. Separate from that guy. Generally, and not all the time. When people are single, sometimes they cheat multiple times. When they married, they don't necessarily cheat multiple times. So that's even different. There's so many different layers and level to relationship. It's crazy. It really is. It says, why is communication so difficult in marriage? It always will be. A lot of times you have opposing opinions because people are thinking differently. And so me and my wife, we had opposing opinions. And come to find out we were saying the same thing. But it pays to be on the same page, reading the same Bible, going to the same church, praying together. And so a lot of times people don't do that. They want the relationship, they don't want God. They want the relationship, they don't want love. You can't have it. God is love. And so how can you have your cake and eat it too and expect to be successful? It doesn't work like that. If that was true, I would never got divorced the first time. It doesn't work like that. All right. So hopefully that came through clear. Communication is not bad, even though it's one of the top 5 reasons people get divorced. All right. Remember that. All right. I thought that popped up there. This is a different question. It says why is premarital counsel so important? Because it prepares the husband and wife to embark upon a journey together in a marriage. And so without getting prepared, it's like getting the driver's license. And if you don't take the test, you're not getting the driver's license. A lot of people think they know how to drive. I was 14 driving, but I didn't have a driver's license. And then if I would have got caught, I would have got in trouble, big trouble, or I could have got killed, or I could have got an accident, right? So a lot of things could have happened, but God protected me, right? So you got it. You need the tools because marriages aren't work. So you need something that's real and can and make your connections going forward. And so if you don't have counseling, chances are your relationship's going to fail. My first marriage, I had no counseling. The second marriage, I had counseling. The second marriage is, I'm about, since counseling, I'm going 34 years of marriage. So that's the difference for me. With counseling, I did 11 years, and half of that, I was separated from my ex. All right, so you do the math, all right? All right, is this where we at? There we go. In a relationship, too fast. I was in a relationship. What does it mean to be compatible? To be a compatible partner, and how do you know if you're truly compatible? Because you're still together. I think that question came up already. And so by if you're happy, he's happy. You're sharing your time together. Me and my wife, we going to. I told her I'm tired. We did this my 6th book signing I'm at in the past 8 weeks, for real. And so I told her I need a break. She plans the trip. We're going together. If I wasn't compatible, I'd be taking a trip by myself. Seriously. And that's what marriage is about. That's what relationships about. I'm taking a week off, going to relax and pull my hair down, whatever. And I'm spending it with my wife, and she made the plan. I don't care where she planned to go. I just want to go. She's happy. I'm happy. We go from there. So it works out really well. You have to find the pluses in your relationship and keep them active so you can stay compatible with the person that you're with. All right? All right. It would be nice if men had the same principles on waiting and know how to treat a woman. Yeah, they would, but they don't because everybody comes from a different background, and some like I tried not to be like my father. I became like my father. Even my father was a ladies' man, and I became a ladies' man. Sometimes we come from diverse backgrounds, and we don't know how to do relationship. When I was sleeping with women left and right and this and sideways, whatever, I didn't know what I was doing. And even though I knew it was wrong, I knew I shouldn't be doing it, I did not know what I was doing. I was doing things and did not know not only what I was doing, but how do I stop this? It wasn't until my girlfriend, well, she wasn't my girlfriend, but my friend came in my life, Melody, that I learned to start cutting off this. A lot of guys don't know. And when girls have mistreated guys, just like women get crazy and do crazy things, guys get crazy and do crazy things. But when they find true love, they stop. They clean up the act. And then when things start going wrong, something must have went wrong south in that relationship. And either the husband knows, the wife knows. But relationships typically don't just break down. It's something's initiated, something's lacking, something's missing in order for a relationship to break down. So keep that in mind, all right? And so as you do that. And so there's principles, but it is what it is. All right. Why is premarital counseling important? I think somebody asked already, because it prepares you for your journey ahead. So That's why it's important. You got to do it. If you don't do it, then look for failure to happen in your life. I'm just being real, all right? And so now I use the comparison of me being married and having premarital counsel. I think it's important. I advise it we met a couple today and we told them get to counseling, get to counseling, get to counseling. And so it's important to go prepared into a relationship. And so at least some words might help you with tithes, offering, paying your bills, this, that, and other, make you responsible. And it helps prepare you for what's coming. It's like going to school. You don't just graduate and go to college. You get prepared through the 12, 13 years of school, and then you go to college and make the best life you possibly can. All right? So that's how that works. All right. So that being said, I like to say thanks for the questions. Thanks for participating. Thanks for joining. I think you guys are awesome. Sunday, I think I'm on Sunday. Oh my God. And so I'm supposed to have a meeting as well. But Sunday at 8:00. And so let's plan for that and we go for it and see you then. I always say faith connects to the power words, bring forth the reality of God. And so God bless you. So I appreciate that. Always journey forth. We're leaving here tomorrow after my signing and getting back to Orlando area. We're still in Florida, but we're like almost 8 hours away from where we at. So got a little drive ahead of us. But, with all things working together, it all works out. And then we could take it and run from there. And so just continue to work together to make things happen. And we go from there, all right? And so keep your head up, keep your eyes peeled so you could always know what's happening. All right, this is our church. If you're interested in our church, and no pressure, no pun intended, I put it out because I want people to know if they desire a place to travel. Take a picture of this, and then we can look at, meeting you at the church and stuff like that. But that's how we do it. We have church down in Florida, Oviedo, Leesburg, Virginia. So we're trying to keep it going, let people know we're out there. Since I talk both sides, I want you to see me on the other side as well. So appreciate you. Like I said, take a picture of it and we take this down, go from there. All right, so we have that. And then where we at here? No, I'm missing something.
God, you taught me to trust you. You show me how to believe. You're the author